Get ready.
Go for it. I gotta check with you.
Check your email. Jesse, what are you checking? Oh my. Hang on a sec. I'm doing video game things on my telephone. But I will share this with you. I don't have a new speaker to share with you for CopyCon because somebody didn't get me a photograph. I thought it was a very simple request. Just a photograph in portrait mode. That was all I asked for. And yet I still don't have it. Anyway, there we go.
Makes me super curious who that is.
Yeah.
I don't know the order in which you're doing these. I'm
Yeah.
gonna need you to scooch.
All the speakers are arranged in hypothetical order.
Hypothetical order of when we could get photographs, apparently.
Yeah.
And that's not even working.
Very frustrating. Anyway, so what do we got on the screen right now? Looks like Lexergy.
Oh, we should probably wish that away.
Oh yeah, huh? There we go.
Ooh-wee. Hello everyone. I guess we're actually streaming, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I was kind of scrolling through.
And say hello to our new little friend that Jesse made.
Okay, let me
You don't really,
scoot so you can scooch over as far as you can.
don't
Although
really have a
you
name.
lose your footrest if you do that. That's why you don't.
Oh, whoa, I almost clicked on the end stream button. That would've been
Yeah,
funny.
very short stream apparently.
Yeah. Look at this. Jesse just made this. Isn't that incredible?
We got all sorts of little friends around the house now,
Yeah.
including one that's going to be gifted, and I'm getting very attached to it sitting in its spot, and I need to gift it sooner rather than later so I don't get overly attached.
Yeah.
Have to make us another one.
Yep. Yeah,
But
that's from the Woobles.
yeah, Miles. So that one's from the Woobles. I've got the owl was also, which is over there.
The owl is new. That's right.
I've done the turtle, the fox, the dino, the owl, and a couple others from the Woobles. And then from there, I've branched out and just started making a lot of different projects that are not, including the little LangTime animals. Those are not the Woobles. And David is
Didn't quite work out the way
swooshing
I
all
imagined
over.
that it was going to work out. You can,
So here David is showing, I made a little owl and then I did the
Okay.
little beanie and scarf to go with it.
so then without the scarf and beanie.
Yes. So David's going crazy. So for anyone who doesn't know, the Woobles is a starting company. Like they were a startup, and it was actually kind of just run by two people, and they do these kits that come with really detailed video tutorials for beginning level crocheters. And when I was a kid, I used to crochet with my mom, but then I hadn't crocheted in a very long time. In the meantime, in between my crochet experience and now, I had learned how to knit. And so like it somehow overrode any knowledge I had of crocheting in my brain, to where like I couldn't even figure out how to use a crochet hook anymore. And so I had ordered a kit from the Woobles. My first kit was the fox with the little party hat.
Yeah.
I had ordered a kit from them because I wanted to relearn the skill, and it all came back to me, and now I can't stop, like at all. And I've made like 5 different Woobles kits. I've made the little LangTime animals for David, a larger stuffed unicorn for Meridian. I made another larger stuffed animal for a gift that will be given away. And now I'm working on an even bigger project. And so I can't stop.
Okay, so Carl keeps talking about the Codex. Are you talking about my copy of the Codex Seraphinianus? Because I have it. And why would I show it to you? It's mine. You get your own.
And hey to everyone saying hey. And Awesome Kiete is currently crocheting a blanket, like at this moment.
Oh.
That's amazing. Have fun. I love them. Oh yeah, Miles, those limited run editions, they do come back when they're super popular. They do come back. So keep an eye out because I promise you that that one will probably be back because it was super popular. Um, and yeah, they're like a really cool small company that actually ended up going on Shark Tank and they got funded. And so now they're able to expand operations because they were funded through Shark Tank. So it's very exciting. Okay, and Carl is now saying never mind. And that book is upstairs, isn't it? That's in our office upstairs, the Codex Seraphinius. Yeah.
Along with the Voynich manuscript and also the Red Book by Carl Jung. Really need to devote some time to looking at that.
Tethys wove a belt. How cool. Okay. I had never tried this cosmic cranberry flavor. I'm very happy with it.
It's a very sad cosmos.
A cosmic cranberry today. Okay, so getting into today's stream before we go on, two things. One, Zachary, if you're watching, happy birthday. Today is Zachary's birthday.
Ooh.
And
Zachy birthday.
But
Zachy birthday.
Someone who I know may not be here yet, but will see this at some point. Ragdoll. Tomorrow, according to the Australian day, tomorrow is Ragdoll's birthday.
Wow.
For us, it's in 2 days, but for Ragdoll, tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Ragdoll's Australian birthday. Wow.
Yes, and then the day after is Ragdoll's American birthday.
Wow. That's so cool.
because we have that 24-hour time difference from where we are and where Ragdoll is. Well, I think it's more like 22, 20. Yeah. I don't know, but it's darn close to 24-hour time difference, which means it's always like a day ahead where Ragdoll is. But yeah, if you're here, I don't think I remember seeing you comment quite yet, but if you are here, happy birthday! Woo-hoo! Ooh, Davide. That would be kind of fun to knit, like create a language out of the different knit patterns you can do.
Were you on this panel without actually owning the book, Logan?
Aw, Kiete, happy birthday to Florian.
Oh.
Aww. Is Australia a day late and $1 short? Aren't they a day early? They may be $1 short, I don't know. But aren't they a day early according to our time clock? Because they're ahead of us. They're like a day early.
What? Oh, that definition of early.
Yeah.
God, that's a weird definition of early.
I don't understand how you would use it any differently.
Early means earlier, before us.
Yeah, but like they're Thursday.
You're meaning early to mean they arrive.
They're first.
Yeah, as opposed to... Do you understand? Like if
in Australia, it's already Friday. That's early. It's Thursday here.
Yeah, but guess
what?
We're
the latecomers.
We're
a day late.
In Hawaii, it's earlier than it is right now because it's 3 hours earlier, which is before us.
But Australia has gone so far ahead of us
that they're now behind us?
No, they're ahead of us. So
how could they be earlier?
Anyway, I love you, dear. See, thank you, Jonathan. They get there early. That's what I mean.
And so they're later than us. Because that date is further in the future. It's later.
But if you're thinking of it in terms of days of the week, they get there earlier than we do. So they're the early arrivals. We're the late arrivals. We show up later.
So then Hawaii is later than us, even though they're earlier?
Anyway. In some senses, yes. So, David is going to get over this. We're going to announce some poll results. And I think, were they right here? Yeah.
That's right.
David is so disgusted, he just is not even.
Yeah. Now we're gonna do this
Woo.
because
I
Jesse
mean that's
doesn't
another
believe me.
debate. The whole what is next Monday versus last Monday, and yeah. Who is best? That's just like straight up what you're asking.
Yeah, because I know what the results are gonna be.
Oh my god. Anyway. Um let's
Maybe only one person has voted. Let's take a look. Oh no! Oh no! Look, tons of people have voted.
I think you're best.
Do you? Well, that's wonderful of you, but do you need more?
Thank you all. I am blushing. I am beside myself. I love you all.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Og. Oh, who is better? Oh, good call, Miles.
mm,
Oh, well, I hope getting off work means all sorts of fun days for you, Kiete.
yeah.
And also let me know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
You get off work yet? You get off work like the football? All right.
Thank you all. Lots of love.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Anime went for the blind pick. I love that the blind pick still ended up.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you okay, so we had a poll for oh, I should have asked if Bibleridian voted. I need to know.
Man, can you imagine if like we could do it so that like on our channel every time Bibleridian was mentioned and then he responded the first time, it played Lurch doing a gong saying "You rang."
Oh my god, yes. So this has been an emotional journey, this patron poll. Because we were trying to decide what to do with these dip songs. We had a lot to start with, and so we had pretty much, all combinations listed here. Remember, the schwas were the only things not participating in our proto dip song forms. And so we were trying to decide what to do with all the combinations. And so we had, these are our original up top. I'm going to scroll those so you can see the three options. We had this polar option where essentially the second element was going to be neutralized.
Yeah.
And it was going to end up moving, and so the vowel would end up always, that second vowel rather would always be e, u, or and so if it was already u, it would stay u. Oh, Jonathan is saying we can't actually see this. Is it? Do I need to refresh it?
Oh no, it's yes, we do.
Okay.
Unbelievable! Like
just a second.
It's the freaking screen capture, like
Kiet, like French miette with a K.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Your conlings would have this one.
I'm so sorry. So
So the starting point here is we have all combinations of a, e, o, u. And so, yeah, that was the starting point. David has fixed it.
mm-hmm.
Thank you for letting us know we couldn't see it. And W. Watson, oh no, sending lots of love to you and healing powers. That's, ugh. Okay, so moving forward here. Hopefully now they can see. Oh, I should move it over a little bit because let me know if the full chart is visible now. I realized I was in the edge of the screen, but now the full chart should be visible. Okay, okay. And so all the a, o, u combinations are again in the proto diphthongs. Here's what we're trying to do. Option A was to change the second element, where essentially if the second element was a, it would move to a schwa. If the second element was a, it would either become e or schwa, depending on what the first vowel was. If it's an o, it would become an u or a schwa. again, depending on what the first element is. And then if the second vowel was an oo, it would stay oo in all cases, except where there was that sort of oo combo. Instead of creating a long vowel, it would break and become wa with an off-glide schwa sort of situation. So that was one option. Option B, we went with the long vowels, but then also like kind of went with some other combinations that seemed to kind of make sense. And so we had, like long o, u, where a, so on came together. But then we also had ones where it was like oa would also go to a long o sound. So like you can see that the long vowels ended up showing up in a lot more options. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm pretty sure you said this was the least favorite option.
That got 1 vote.
Wow.
And it got 1 vote from our newest patron, Tethys, who used their 1 vote to vote for that one. And so I'm so sorry, Tethys. I am so sorry.
But welcome, Tethys.
But you know what? We had a lot of love for that option. So
we really did.
And we'll probably get long vowels back in some fashion at some point,
And I actually thought this was kind of an elegant way to keep some combinations of diphthongs while reducing them in a way that made sense. And then, having those long vowel distinctions, which can be kind of fun when you have long vowel and short vowel distinctions. So anyway, that was an option that was really cool that at least Tethys found cool, and we're very happy that you did. All right, so
then
option C. This one introduces on-glides, and so some of the diphthongs turned into a glide vowel situation where others simplified to a single vowel. And so this one sort of got rid of all diphthongs as you would think of classic diphthongs, unless you still consider the glide as part of a diphthong. And so this was the other super popular option. I believe the votes were super close. David?
Yeah. By the way, if anybody gets that, how that was a glide, oh, that's a deep cut. Anyway. All right, so the votes as they were to come in, therefore, and here about, oh, yes, here we are.
David's going to do the results. He's very good at this.
Yes. Do we want the numbers?
I mean, I like giving numbers, especially when I think these ended up being close,
6
didn't they?
is 11, plus 12 is 23. And then
so one of the options got
9
23.
Plus 5 is 14. Plus 7 is 21. All right.
23 to 21. Which one's our winner?
Here we go. Who won with a... Wait a minute. Hold on a sec. We're gonna see if you can guess.
Oh, now David wants to actually
Who
start.
Who won with a final score of 23 to 21 to 1? And A or C? Let's see if you guess. Now that I'm in charge.
This is apparently how we're doing things.
There's just going to be polls all the time now.
David's poll happy. He's a little pollster.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that bounced fast.
All right, let's see if you were correct. And of course, if you choose the winning option here, you get 73 LangTime bucks to add to your LangTime bank. And
with David's Jin face on it.
Yeah, of course. And remember that your bucks do roll over from month to month. However, they do expire after 11 months and 9 days for obvious reasons. So with 19 votes in, which is good enough, the viewers think that A won, and
dun, da, da, da.
You are correct. A won with 23 votes, kind of at the 11th hour. A truly stunning, shocking turnaround, as C had a commanding 1-vote lead for like 1 day.
Commanding.
Yeah.
Woo!
So
So Alk really needs those books.
Yeah, we know you do.
Check your LangTime bank accounts,
Yeah,
which do require all
by the
social
way,
security numbers and credit card information.
Yeah. And as a reminder, your grace period ends at the end of this month. At that point, we do have to start charging interest for your LangTime buck overages.
We've got our whole pyramid scheme down, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's totally not a pyramid scheme, really.
No,
to be
but
a pyramid, we need to have them sell shares
but
to
the thing
somebody
is,
else.
if you sign up somebody else for a LangTime buck account, you get 5 LangTime bucks. But if they sign somebody else up, you get 2.
And since all of this is operating completely out of sight of any sort of government bodies, then of course it's tax-free, Miles. Like, whose LangTime buckage is going to be taxed? That's
right. It's being vetted by a subcommittee for the over committee.
Look at Miles. Yes, literally LT dollar sign. And Ricardo, we prefer to think of ourselves as a free trade economy where it's sort of, well, what do you need? What do you need out of it?
No. Ricardo was asking about the conversation rate, and it is actually 4 LangTime bucks for your thoughts. So that's the current conversation rate.
And for the Bibbleridabucks.
Ooh, Bibbleridabucks.
I believe, Bibliquidian would really help so much more to my pronunciation.
I mean, the way things go, honestly, I think it's like 23,419 LangTime Studio LangTime bucks to a half a Bibbleridabuck.
I thought it was at least one. Anyway. All right. So yes, as somebody noted, that does mean we get to keep the which I was happy about because, thinking of some of the sounds that I wanted.
Be very French dogs. Ooh.
I was happy with that. It was really tough because at one point I remember even having a conversation with David as we were realizing that it was either going to be A or C as the winner. And really, I kept going back and forth because I was like, I don't really want to lose some of those diphthongs like the I and ow. I really feel like those could be helpful for some of the sounds we're going for the language. But at the same time, the glides were appealing. And so I was honestly surprised that option C made it as high as it did and as far as it did, because I really thought that most patrons would have been turned off by the lack of the classic diphthongs that we had been discussing. I also really thought that A was going to really stomp everything else out because it reinforces the schwa, which means it will be harder to kill. And so...
what about if C had won, though, we wouldn't have ow, but we would have...
I need a moment to just process that perfection. That was really good. My heart just did a Grinch style growing 3 times thing, and it's like breaking its little barriers, and it's like, what do I do? So much love. Okay, so that makes me happy. Now, mind you, we can still have RO, so it can still be a whoa, 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 as opposed to a whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my God, that sounded more like in Little Mermaid, when the bird tries to start singing.
No, that's... See, that's when he's getting, his beak,
He did it way better than I did. And that was amazing. Okay. But we're going to stop making impressions for you.
I know my Little Mermaid.
I'm going to try to stop pushing on my finger. I have a cut on my finger
I wish you could use audio clips as reaction on Discord.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, so we are there. Silvertail has now caught up with us,
Slowed down to
and
100% speed.
so here we are.
Yeah.
I am now used to David making loud random noises next to me during a stream, um, and so it doesn't make me jump out of my chair as much as it used to. Exactly. All right, so woohoo! Let's make this real, David. Let's go to the document. I'm gonna leave this up on the screen while you type for a moment.
Can you do that woohoo like DuckTales?
Woohoo!
Good. All right. You're gonna. Oh, no, no, no. We have this in the document.
We do.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, Miles bought a bag of Kopiko. That's amazing. An anime
What's in
fan,
the box?
yes, that is the Kiss the Girls scene. Okay. So Silvertail, does that mean we should try to talk faster? Should we speed up to double? Just no. Just no. Go faster. Oh, although if anyone has seen the movie Epic, I don't remember who made it. I don't think it's a Disney. I think it's a DreamWorks production. But anyway, there's like a scene in there where like, the little characters hear the humans speak really slow to them because like their hearing is kind of sped up. And so when they hear humans speak, it's really, really slow. And at one point they go to like their point of view and one of the humans hits his arm and he's all like, ow, my elbow. And it's really funny. My son and I used to do that a lot as just a joke anytime we would hit our elbow. Okay.
All right, this is going to be a really easy sound change to describe. I suppose the question is where it's going to be.
So just as my pronunciation couldn't handle it.
Mm.
And I think they're right. Okay. Yes, let's talk, David. What?
It's a really easy sound change to describe because essentially the second element of a VV combo is shifting to some polar position. And so it's with respect to the height of the other vowel.
Silvertail's mom does the ow my elbow thing. Yes! Okay, going on.
So you've both seen this movie?
It's a good movie.
This obviously fictional movie.
It's really good. It's like the modern version of Fern Gully, and I loved that movie as a kid, and so like I was stoked when this one came out. Anyway. This sound change is not only easier to describe because what's happening is easier, but we could also use the chart and pop it in. We could do the chart thing and just be like, boom.
Oh.
David doesn't like it.
No, I don't like it, but it does make sense. But what we are going to have to do...
And yes, Our Night Petrichord is the one with Beyonce as the Queen Fairy.
This was a very recent movie, then?
By very recent, you mean about a decade ago?
I mean, in that Beyonce was active.
Yeah.
Wild. Okay, so we're just going to get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of... I'm just going to... I've cut it.
2013. It was exactly a decade. Thank you, Tincture. That's what I was thinking, but I couldn't remember for sure. Oops, I went way too far.
Okay. So it's probably going to happen before uvular coloring.
Because we don't want those vowel qualities to change before we... Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me.
So let's take a look here.
But interesting.
Mm-hmm.
if there's a uvular consonant before, or let's just say after the diphthong, and it ends in a schwa, does that mean it's now going to go back to an ah?
Yeah, so we're going to have to do something about it before then, but that's all right. It gives us our marching orders, essentially.
Wow.
So let's see. All this stuff affects consonants, secondary articulate pre-diphthong metathesis. So rule 6, basically it needs to come either directly before or directly after rule 6.
Okay.
So this is the one where, you know, the ku becomes kuwu.
Okay.
So here's why it matters. I'm going to put
Okay.
I'm going to put this won't affect the numbering. Will it? Okay, no, it won't. So then I'm going to do it up here. Sorry. Oh, wow, not there. Gosh.
Wow, David.
Okay, so then let's say that we have what's something where I don't have to put the aspiration in? Hua. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, not that. Okay, hua. Can we have anything at the end?
I thought,
We can, can't we? Well, don't go up.
well, I wanted to see. I thought we wrote something. Oops.
Don't worry about that. That's a blank page.
What's that?
It's a blank page. Don't worry about that. Let's just put the R. Wow. Okay, go back.
All consonants.
Yeah, so go back to our sound change rules.
I'm getting there.
All right. So this is going to become
Matisse isn't here yet.
this.
We need to stop all action and go find Matisse.
Oh, that rascal.
Mm.
But we all probably know what he's up to. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he got caught up at the library and is having a really, really strong argument with somebody about the merits of the Dewey Decimal System. I'm hoping that he comes out as opposed to it as I am, because I'm very opposed to it.
Really?
Very.
But you always know that, like, the literature and linguistics section is going to be in the P's. P6 is where I like to spend my time.
Just so silly.
Anyway.
All right. So if we put that rule after rule 6, then this is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
If we put it before, then this is what happens. So, see what we mean?
I do see what we mean.
Yeah. It's kind of a big deal.
It is. So it's really hua or huer. Interesting.
Well, I mean, this is not the only one. So, like, for example, All right, but basically it's just whatever. So it's only with U and O, right? But we have for U, every single diphthong resolves as wa. For O, we have oi, and we also have oa. Believe. Do we have O too? We might have O as well. Let's see. Yeah, we do have O.
Oh, there you plopped it down here. Yeah.
Hoi.
This would also, because the OOs would be, instead of howar,
That's
would
right.
be
Howar.
howar
That's right.
instead of howar. Howar. Howar.
Yeah, Hoi sounds pretty cool.
I kind of like having either the ear or the just because I feel like sometimes in between, I get that it's not always going to be an R, but after a W and in between another consonant, so whether it's, huak or hoik, hoik,
Mm-hmm.
huak, huak. I guess I feel like it's almost easier to do a we or a wa than it is to produce potentially wa, we, wo consistently, especially if that isn't necessarily the stress syllable.
Stomp, clap, stomp, stomp, clap, stomp, clap, stomp, stomp, clap.
You like that?
It would be the stress syllable though.
It would be okay.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. Huh. Do you want to put it to a poll?
Let's see what
Just to see what people think.
Okay, how should we put this?
Flipsy dipsy. Do you want to put like huar as the sample? So David is typing up our poll. You're right, Tincture, a little Polsky. And yeah, we haven't really discussed a lot of stress things yet because you're right, like it was going to be sort of monosyllabic, and so for a lot of our roots, this is one of the cases where a monosyllabic root suddenly becomes disyllabic, and so
yeah. So, but the thing is, like, you don't have to discuss stress. It just goes where it would. It goes the where the tonic one was, and it's like if there's more of an on glide, and it goes. If something is more of an on glide, then I guess.
I mean, I was naturally putting it on the first just because it's like the first, but I mean, I guess
Why?
I'm unnatural.
Juar. Juar. Yeah.
We keep like treating that R as something other than
Juar. 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 Juar.
We both keep like kind of giving it a light tap or
Wow.
trill. And it's not meant to. Oh man.
There's nothing wrong with I. Like, we'll get it. It's not like this language isn't going to have it. It'll be there.
Okay.
Let's. Yikes. Bibleridian, we need you. Pay attention.
Come save
We
us,
desperately
Bib.
need you. Let's
Yeah,
see.
just type it over and over again.
How is it won't let me do caps? Oh, I see.
The vote's going to be over before. Oh, 50-50. Woo-hoo. Three times, yeah.
Oh.
Well, that just switched in a surprising way. Well, now we've got, I love when our numbers shoot up above number of viewers after having had a 50-50 split.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta wonder. David, what is your thought? I'm curious to get your input.
My thought is Bibleridian is probably at his bicycle shop right now, trying to sell bicycles in the rain. Did I spell it wrong? No, I didn't spell it wrong.
I think that was a typo.
Spelled the way we all pronounce it.
So one of the reasons I want Shucks. Oh, nice. Also welcome, Bib. I'm torn, David. Are you looking up Shoggoth?
Oh, it's H.P. Lovecraft.
How do you pronounce it? Is it Shoggoth or Shoggoth?
I don't know.
Shoggoth, maybe. I don't know. Okay. So we got your opinion. Your opinion is by and large kind of split, slightly leaning toward this option where we actually do the.
No.
No, wait. Slightly
Yeah.
leaning towards.
No, yeah, this one.
That option.
Where where nothing interesting happens.
Where nothing happens. It just remains the same.
Yeah.
But it really is split. So, David, we know your opinion on probably what Bibleridian is doing right now for real.
Yeah.
But what is your opinion on your preference for ordering here? Because we are a rather divided group right now.
I'm going to tell you this. I really want to know Bibleridian's opinion on bicycles.
You know, sometimes you're just not helpful.
I know, but don't you? Like, I could either see him being furiously pro-bike or, like, I don't go on velocipedes. You know? Hold on a sec.
Hua. 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 That was my voice. Hua. Hua. Hoya. 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 Oh my gosh. Back to a 50-50 split. The second option.
Wow. So the original, he's voting for Button Classic. Oh, I get it.
I am legit torn. You're staring at chat.
Yeah.
I'm legit torn, like our viewers, which is why I'm asking one more time. David, do you have a preference? You did say nothing interesting happens if we do it after, which may mean that you kind of prefer the other option because something different happens.
Yeah.
We do get, as Jake had mentioned, this would be the first time the E would be a nucleic element on its own. We don't yet have that in the language. That's kind of fun. That could be a way of introducing it where it's like, hey, it shows up here and it could, more naturally show up other places after that. Oh, fewer. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I hope everybody knows that was David being all weirdly pedantic about that.
But
also, like, as good job, Tincture.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so David, can you say the highlighted element for me?
Quar.
Can you say this one now?
Quar.
Okay, this one?
Hoyer. Hoyer.
They are darn near indistinguishable, aren't they? Okay. Change that R to, like, I don't know, D, because we have a plain D.
Quad. 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 Quoid.
Okay, so one of the reasons I wanted to hear it was because, remember, we've got to have a reason for this flipsy-do to happen. So I wanted to hear to see if it was difficult for me, if as a listener or even, as a speaker, it seems more, it almost seems like this one sounded more prone to metathesis than these two, which means I think I'm leaning towards the no interesting things happen option for myself, but I still would love to hear your opinion.
By the power vested in me, I pronounced this sound change before.
Okay.
Bib 4, as it were.
Okay. So then we're going to get some interesting things happening.
So we're going to call this diphthong. It's not really simplification. It is simplification.
Diphthong polarization is, because we call this the polar.
Yeah. Okay, so B after B goes to E, oo,
or schwa.
My. I don't know how this is going to work.
Was this one supposed to be o schwa, ou? Because shouldn't it be polarized? Shouldn't the second one become less like it? Which is why uo became ua. So uo became ua, but ou stays ou.
Like, I honestly don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. But here's the thing. So for OU, right, a U goes to plus high in front of a vowel that is minus high, minus plus high or minus high. And so, yeah, this works. As it's written, this would predict that OU would go to OU.
Okay.
Oh, you have to be up there. Yeah.
I scrolled. Okay, and then Jake pointed that out too. It's like in the Z axis. Okay. Woo! I'm gonna let David take care of that. You talk us through that
Let's just say
while I get some more
the second
delicious
element,
cultures.
the second member of a VV sequence is going to become rightly simplified in that it can now be only one of three vowels, e, oo, or in effect, the second vowel is pushing away from the first. So if they are of a kind, the vowel will drop. If the vowel is naturally higher, it will push towards e or oo, depending on its back feature. Wait. If the vowel is on the is of the same height, but has a back feature which differs, it will push towards its highest form. Yea, it will transform like mighty Inuyasha.
I don't get that reference.
He has to save Kagome from Shishomaru yet again, because none of them have any sense. There. Okay.
Yeah, I don't get that reference.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
The wonderful thing is, you don't have to. Yeah.
Can I like make those like bold and italic or something?
No, I would put the little brackets around them.
Okay.
Our brackety friends.
Thank you. I needed it set off, and I wasn't sure what you would prefer.
This is your document. I am but a traveler in this wilderness, in this time period.
Okay, so one
Inuyasha, Shishomaru's got me again. Ah, Kagome! Down, boy. Ooh, sorry.
One quick thing, Anime Fan was asking about deriving a word for child or going with the basic root, and that's one that can totally be up to you, because you could have some sort of diminutive on person and have that mean child. But also child is quite often a basic root in languages. And so that's one of the, well, they're really every root you make is up to you, but that is one that, you know, really makes a lot of sense to go either direction. And so, yeah. Yeah. See, in English, of course, child comes from the past participle chilled, because children make you cold. And so it was just a shortening up of it, and then the vowel lengthened and it got pronounced child. Anyway, I'm now thinking of like the plural form as like the chilled bird, like the wren, the bird. It's a chilled wren. Yeah. And so like a pack of childs is actually a wren. Yes. Goes back to that old fable where, you know, the poor hermit, he lost everything, and his fire went out, and he had no food, and he went and opened the door, and a wren fell down out of the sky because it froze in the storm and fell at his feet, and he picked it up and said, "You will be my own," and then he raised it as his own child, his children. And then, of course, the fire came back, and it became a very lovely and touching family, the two of them, and they lived for many years. And I saw them once. They were over at the grocery store. I like Jake's in Korean, they're ai, because that's the sound you make when you run into one. Ai. Okay, so we've got our little chart,
Yeah.
our chartle, following our
Oh,
description.
yeah.
We have a
let me
diphthong
introduce the chart.
polarization.
The effects of this sound change are summarized below. That's all I wanted to do.
And I also want to say, I believe I remember seeing that, yeah, Lexergy is caught up because
Yeah.
Graham is amazing. And so yeah, this will be a new insert here. Okay. Good job, Tincture.
I think Graham specifically put the forms in there to show us, like, this is what your sound changes are doing. Maybe think about changing them. Go show them.
Oh my gosh, like this.
Like Krubub.
And
Morale.
this.
I like morale. Morale.
And I really do, like, I cannot tell you how amazing. Well, I think I sing Graham's praises a lot, but I'm going to sing him again here. Like, it's amazing. And you're absolutely right. If your whole purpose, Graham, in putting these examples in was to be like, think through this, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. I think something needs to be done with Krubub. Or Krubub.
Oh, something was just done. Because it's no longer ooh. It's now ooh.
No.
So now it's kurub.
Nope, because of where we put the sound change, it's still Krubub.
No, this happens first, then this happens.
I think we made a mistake then.
We?
Shoot.
I thought you were voting for the before option so more interesting things happen.
Oh.
But now that is an argument to have it in the place you just put it, because that would at least be kurub.
Yeah.
Kurub.
Sorry, that was totally an accident. I think it was because of the way I did the poll. I meant to do the other one where the changes didn't happen.
So maybe all your votes were backwards too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wouldn't have any of the ubu situations because they would all become ubub situations.
Tincture.
Oh yeah, I already commented on that.
You did?
I did.
And you hid it from me?
I was right here speaking out loud, and you ignored me.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. I think we should celebrate having that typed
Yeah.
before we decide whether you put it in the correct place. And then we'll go on. He knocked the little mouse over. Poor little mouse.
Oh. All right, this is going to be my last cappuccino, Copico. Back to the straight stuff after this, the hard stuff. Partner?
Cheers.
Dink. Sure.
Sure. Okay, so yeah, we do. That would take a lot of the monotony out of any of those.
Copico, when you need to taste it before you talk about it.
What just happened, David?
Have you seen Gravity?
With Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what
That's what
happens
just
in it.
happened.
Oh, went flying?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yay, Miles! That's exciting.
All right.
So now, given the forms that we have in Lexergy, like these two, did we just make the right decision by accident?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Okay, so we accidentally made the right decision. In Gravity with Sandra. Ooh, we started a workout thing. I can't laugh without some degree of pain in that that made me laugh the way it was.
Why did it make you laugh though? Like he was actually being serious. I really like
No,
Gravity.
but like with the hyphens, because the way I said it was like that's the title, Gravity with Sandra Bullock,
Oh,
and so he put the hyphens in there, and that made me like just kind of laugh because it was like the way I said it made it sound like that was like the title.
I like how your Sandra Bullock rhymes with Murdoch as opposed to Bullock, which I think is the way it's said.
Anyway, I think I remember enjoying it. I don't like. I watched it so long ago. I don't
I saw it on a plane. Thought it was great.
like. I feel like I get it confused in my head with Interstellar.
Oh, that's got to be hard to do.
Isn't that the one with Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, but one is realistic, and then the other one is like,
They're floating.
far future, and it has Topher Grace, and
Which one has Topher Grace?
Interstellar.
That one does.
Like
Okay.
one of them is science fantasy, and one is science fiction. Effectively, one of them has aliens.
Listen, I watched them roughly the same time period in my life. They were both about space. Like, I'm sorry. Anyway,
And yet,
I do remember The Martian though. Matt Damon.
but how do you distinguish Matt Damon from anybody else that looks mostly like him?
What should we do next?
We need to keep going because I'm not happy with the sound of this thing yet. That's my opinion. You have to decide at some point. It's like, are you going to be happy with it? And then, you know. You know what I mean?
We need a lot more examples before I know that.
All right. So right now, all of these diphthongs are licit, right? Do you like that, or do you want to massage some of them away? Do you want to turn some of these into long vowels at some point?
These two concern me.
Well, they're the same.
I know.
You don't like ea? Bed.
It just feels very similar. I don't know. The sound changes. Like, I'm ready to work on grammar. That's my growly dog. The pharyngeals thing. Didn't we have a note?
We've got something in purple up there, yeah.
Okay. This is our rough draft here. Vowel becomes a diphthong with an inserted schwa. Okay. You're right, Jake. That's a good place to go. And I think, did we have, no, we didn't have anything else. Okay. This was because, as David pronounced last week, a series of pharyngeal consonants.
Hey, huh, who, and like, ba, 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 wo.
And all of us felt, well, let me go back. A lot of us, and by us I mean me and people in chat were backing me up, felt like there was something going on vocalically when the pharyngeal was the onset, to the point where it kind of sounded like, as we have written here, almost like a schwa was being inserted in between the consonant and vowel. And we did not feel that it happened as a coda consonant. We felt that, ib
Mm-hmm.
was still just ib. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't do anything with it. But having that by, like, it just felt like there's something going on. However, when it was a schwa that was following, it just lowered, like it just sounded lower. And so we were gonna kind of create, and this goes along really well with introducing schwas as parts of diphthongs, which was not part of the proto-diphthong inventory. This goes along well with the poll results to now have schwas introduced as elements in diphthongs in very specific ways. The poll results introduce them as second elements. This would introduce them as first elements after a pharyngeal consonant.
All right. Let's find a place to put it.
Do you want me to copy it?
Well, what happens with a schwa? Did we already get rid of those?
Rid of what, sorry?
VV sequences with schwa. Did we already get rid of those?
Those are not listed VV sequences in the protoforms.
Perfect. Got it. Okay. So in that case, I don't think it matters if it goes. It does kind of matter. So if it goes before diphthong polarization, it's actually going to be a part of that rule. Because, for example, bai will become bai,
Mm.
So I'll get to where you are in the document. So what I mean by this is if we have, oh, no, you don't, this, and then let's say that we just have the, let's say then we have this rule, or no, wait, no, then we have the rule that we just did, the poll rule, then it's going to become this, okay, or we have this, we have this this new rule, and then the poll rule would turn that into that. Okay.
Because that would polarize all diphthongs, including ones that have been introduced.
Yeah.
Can you pronounce like both series, like kind of all three? I know these two will stay the same, but even just to hear the series.
Bai, 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 and then bai, bai, bai.
Okay. And then would anything happen to oh, like, because this shows schwa followed by an e.
Oh boy.
What would happen to the other three?
Goodness gracious. If or actually that, and then we might need to revisit this one, because what's going to happen is
But why? If the oo sometimes remains oo, why would the ah have to change?
What do you mean?
Because it has to go to high?
Everything goes to e, oo, or
It can't remain an ah.
which is kind of funny. So then we'll have ba becoming ba, but ba becoming ba. Sorry, that was an implosive.
Yeah, it was. It just sounded like bah.
I think B schwa should merge. So this one ba, I don't think it should become that. I think ba should become ba, and then this should stay that. They should merge.
Okay. Because we've already decided the schwa would just lower. So essentially this would...
So yeah, basically
Ba
this
and
wouldn't
ba.
happen. This wouldn't happen.
Okay.
This and this would merge as that.
Okay. Are there any problems with both forms for the U and the O? Would it just be O and O?
Mm-mm. No, there are no problems for those.
So nothing would change about them from the two different ways. I feel like you don't understand what I'm asking.
No.
Is that correct? No matter what, we're going to get the same form.
No.
Okay, then that's what I was asking, is what's going to happen to them.
I mean, just follow the rule, like that one. But we're not going to run into this problem for any of those. It was only for this because of this. I'm just going to delete this. I don't want people to even look at it anymore.
And then, okay. Okay, this is on. Okay, I can remember. No. I don't remember. How,
Which one are you trying to do? I'll do it.
I want the pharyngealized.
No, but which series? But you could
A
also,
diphthong. Give me a diphthong.
you could also just copy and paste. All right. That's a really good question. Goodness gracious.
Because the question here is, what are we going to do either way? I mean, it doesn't matter whether we change the diphthong first or have this change happen first. Like, it doesn't matter which direction we go. The question is, what the heck are we going to do if we want to do this pharyngealization, vowel change, pharyngealize, affecting the vowel? The heck do we do if it's a diphthong? Oh my God. Hypothetically, just, okay, come on. There we go. This is hypothetically, so don't do anything with it. This is for one of our viewers. We could get Bubba.
From
Bubba.
Wow. Bubba.
I did that for you, Bubba. That in most cases would not work. I was just thinking like, hey, we could separate that and do a thing, but that wouldn't work for the other diphthongs unless we introduced other glides for like the E would become a ya, the U would become a wa. And so dark horse. I guess that could be an option. And then the schwa would, I guess, pattern the same way as the E and become a ya. I don't know. I don't know. David, I think we have painted ourselves into a vowel heavy corner, and I don't know what to do with it.
Well, we have 3 lifelines for the season. We can phone a friend. We can eliminate 2 of the options as being incorrect. And we can poll the audience. I'd like to pick up the phone and say, Bibleridian, come and fix this.
I mean, I have Biv on my speed dial, so you know. Because then I'm also thinking, like, if really what we're saying is like this is just sort of a phonetic thing that happens, does it even matter other than to say like it affects the vowel quality of how you say it, but it still retains the same spirit? I don't know. Nice dark horse. I also think, oh yeah, if there's a dead end, turn around and find a new path. Good advice, Miles. I like the suggestion, Jake, that we could say, okay, this really only happens when it's a single vowel, but doesn't it necessarily affect how that same vowel sounds as the first unit of a diphthong?
Yeah.
Like if we're saying,
Bua. Boa.
my God, that sounds like a W there instead of an ooh.
Bua. Boa.
Doesn't it? Or it almost sounds like the U disappears.
Bua. Boa.
Anyway,
Bea. 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 Ba. Ba. Trying to make sure I'm doing these pharyngalized and not tensed. Ba. 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 Bea. 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 Bea.
the A just kind of sounds lower there, where it's like Bea becomes Ba. Whoo. Whoo. So, well, do we want to stick a pin in this and come back to it, slash leave it potentially as something we tease out and have as our next patron poll? Or do we want to spend time fix this now? Is there anything else that we definitely need to be addressing in the near future that you can think of? Because my brain right now is kind of scrambling with these options. We actually just did this, right? So we can cross those things off the to-do list.
Yeah.
And we're currently working on this one. We'll figure that out. Okay, so we're getting through our original list. And so while David is still staring at that.
Oh. Bibleridian is struggling with technical difficulties. That sucks.
Oh, that does suck. Sorry to hear that.
Why do you have to live in a lighthouse? There are other places to live. Probably get much better reception.
Because lighthouses are cool.
Mm.
Oh, we also, this is too, we do get the introduction of different diphthongs through the vowel lowering.
Yeah, but does that happen before or after? I believe that happens after.
After, yeah.
So Yeah, the uvular coloring happens after, so we don't have to worry about it.
Although this is an interesting question. Here,
Oh.
does the uvular coloring affect the second vowel of a diphthong?
No, but
Okay.
like it does if it follows it, though. But the key takeaway here is that this happens after.
Yeah.
It happens after. Fringalization can happen after too, so we don't have to worry about what it does to diphthongs.
But we still have diphthongs.
Yeah, but we have later diphthongs, so either they could be triphthongs in that instance. We don't have to worry about all this, or we can just say, well, we have to get rid of the diphthongs by then.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen with uvular coloring to the schwa? Does that just go to ah?
Yep.
And so if we have a diphthong that's ah schwa, it's going to be a long vowel in that case. Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But like that's only if they're still around at that point. They don't necessarily have to be.
Did we agree to this, or did we didn't get rid of this?
No, we didn't. Didn't we? Hold on a sec.
So if we didn't,
The
we need to
sounds
discuss it.
Q, X, and R become K, H, and R before. So they become velar. They don't get rid of it. Voix, voix.
Okay.
So they're not voix. So this was the change we made. If you want to make further changes, we certainly can.
Okay. Okay.
But no, I'm really encouraged by this. I think that we can do the pharyngalization, just do it late.
I mean, that's fine. I think we still need to discuss, though, or does that mean we're introducing triphthongs, which I've never been a fan of in terms of, because at some point it's like you're really just doing 2 syllables and claiming it's a triphthong.
You know what we got to do?
We're not killing schwas.
We're killing the diphthongs.
All the diphthongs that we just voted on as a patron poll?
We're killing them.
Anyway, how are you going to kill them?
Oh, a variety of delightful ways. For example, everything that ends in a schwa could just become a long vowel. So becomes
You're telling me that
o becomes o.
Breaks to just to turn to again.
Well, no, So ma becomes ma, becomes ma.
Okay.
Theoretically, the vowel sequences weren't long; they were 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we do have them, Jonathan. They're right there. They might not be there at the end, but they're there right now. That would only leave oi, I, ow, ew, and that's it. And o.
But then we would still have to decide what to do with like the owl situation after a pharyngeal.
Yeah.
Can you put owl after a pharyngeal for me?
Well, thing is, nothing happens to after a pharyngeal. It just stays. I mean, we had this idea of putting the schwa in front of it. It doesn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
So that would take care of by, and I keep doing implosives. By, bow. That would take care of those. So then we'd have ew, o, and oi. Bell. Sorry, that's implosive again. Bell, boy, and bowl. Bell, boy, bowl.
Mm. It doesn't, Miles. It does not. So, like, I feel like this rough draft of a rule is like, let's just say there's no effect.
That is also a reasonable and simple solution.
There's only any sort of like phonetic production effect, but it doesn't actually make a difference. Because what somebody else said is right too. Like, it really doesn't matter if it colors the vowel unless we end up losing the distinction between a plain B and a pharyngealized B, in which case the vowels that come after, wouldn't necessarily lose whatever coloring there is. And so
Right.
at that point, we would need to specify, hey, here's what happened to the pharyngeal ones, and then when that distinction was lost, here's why the vowel is different in later stages. But if we don't lose it, then it's just a result of, yeah, it's just how it's produced when you have a pharyngeal in front of it, and that's fine.
All right.
I
Delete
think,
it?
yeah, I think we should delete it.
All right. I will do the honors. Gone.
Okay. And that means, done. The answer is no.
All right. And so now basically then we have to decide, are we happy with the consonant inventory we have and the vowel inventory we have? And if we're not, do we want to do things to get more stuff? So, for example, with ea and eu, we could get a palatal series if you wanted it.
Okay.
We can still get long vowels if we want them. But like, we could do like, a say and shan sound change.
A what, sorry?
It was spelled S-E schwa or A-N becomes sh vowel N. Do that type of a thing to get a series of palatals if you want them.
I mean, I think that could be fun. Mm-hmm. Did we need to do anything with this purple business?
Well, it's purple for a reason, I know that, but no, we don't. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. This is what led to the poll.
Okay. Woo! All right, playing through. Okay.
And then Jake is reminding us that we had mentioned the possibility of mutations. We did. So, something that would, okay, so the mutations, of course, usually are basically intervocalic lenition, post-nasal fortition / nasalization, and post palatal, like palatalization. You do something different and say after I or oi, you get a palatal.
So like ice would be ice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Um, and then that would make it easier to set up a kind of consonant mutation initially by having a preposition that ended in something like that.
Gotcha. So, like, if we, for instance, if a preposition was just I, and then we had, like, the next word is so,
Mm-hmm.
instead of ISO, it'd be ISO.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
kind of being considered as a production unit in that point.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and
I like that.
we could do that instead of the palatalization before E, or in addition to.
Okay. I guess on the one hand, it's easier to just say the E triggers but the E would never be the first unit unless we produce one. Right now, the only way you get an E sound is a. Are you talking the IPA?
No.
Small I?
No.
Okay, you're talking like the mid vowel, the front mid vowel.
Yeah, let's just use the American names right now. We're talking about E and I.
Okay.
So I was thinking E just in a diphthong, which would be a smaller set of words. So in other words, like tean would become chun, but ten wouldn't become chen.
Okay, so it would only be
both.
that diphthong in potentially.
Yeah, like if this is something that is near and dear to your heart, we should decide it. But we could also do this as a poll, basically, like go everywhere from like mass palatalization to palatalization just before diphthongs and after these diphthongs, or palatalization just with the two diphthongs.
I could see us doing a good poll this way where it's like we're going to introduce the palatalization as one of the, or only potential form of lenition in the language to incorporate it, because that is something that we had talked about, something patrons have been discussing on Discord, and basically just say, like, how prevalent is it going to be? And are we going to, at this stage, then take out the ea diphthongs and replace them essentially with ya?
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, that does not, so for people saying, but we just voted on something, we're not doing anything with the other schwa diphthongs. It's really just the ea and getting a sort of ya.
Can you go up here?
Which then also gives a nod to the other very popular poll result, which was the glides.
Yeah, because that was where I was going for Jake's question. So I think that the alveolars definitely, but it's an open question of if it would also be with the pharyngeal ones. Anybody know if pharyngalization and palatalization go together? I've typically treated them as like if they're pharyngeal, they're already special and they don't palatalize, but maybe they do.
I feel like I would like to keep them separate. And if we do something with them, they're going to lose the pharyngalization in that context, not in others, but that context. Or the pharyngalization is going to be so strong that it loses the ability to palatalize, essentially. Like I mean, I'm sure there are some languages that have it. I just
no. But that Tethys and Miles, that's a separate thing. They have series of palatal consonants that can do both. We're talking about palatalization, as in like this consonant is changing to this consonant only in front of a palatal like lysing sound, either E or ya. And that was what I wanted to know, if that change occurs. Not like, we already have a series at every place of articulation, and they can be palatalized and labialized and pharyngalized and whatever. It's aspirated.
side note.
Yeah.
Rimiatic is first timer. Hey, and Remy. It's a good name.
It's a good name. My favorite chef has that name.
Ooh, hey, Magpie. Okay, so I feel like, though, that could be a good lead into a poll. You're right, though, like how many will affect. I do like having it affect the alveolars, but you're right, we need to talk about the pharyngealized alveolars.
We do, because basically, if it's only going to affect the alveolars, that's only 2 sounds. Remember, we don't have S.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that we don't have S.
Yeah. And so then we also have
Who
K and
made
G
this
over
language?
here. And K and G could also palatalize. They could merge.
Yeah.
And then we have uvulars. And then we have these, we have the R and L. There's no N, huh?
And yes, Remy, David is thinking of the mouse. We do so love the Ratatouille movie.
Why don't we have N and S? I can't remember at this point.
I don't remember why we didn't do S, other than it just didn't go in the moment. But I do remember we started with N and we shifted it to M as the basic, and said that we would likely put in a rule whereby the nasal could move production points depending on where another sound in its environment is made.
Yeah, we might have to figure out how palatalization could affect some of these others, like maybe the fricatives, the f and f, and maybe h, just to get some bang out of this buck, because it's a very, very, it's like, it's not even a LangTime buck, it's like a LangTime scent. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Goodness.
And we're gonna have to do something with. We might be able to reproduce some.
I feel like another thing we need to do is just create a variety of roots in the language and run it through what we already have and what we're suggesting. Because a lot of times it's difficult. It's not necessarily, we don't need every root to come out to a form that we are necessarily pleased with, because we can just say that's just not going to be a root in this language. Not every potential form has to be a root.
Yeah.
But I am curious to know how close we are with a sound we're happy with, and what the pressure points are that we still need to address to make this sound system work. In other words, I'm pushing off the palatalization decisions because I'm like not sure what I want to do, and part of me just wants to sit and like put a lot of forms and listen to a lot of differences and say which ones make the most sense. I like the idea, but like I also forgot until David said, go look at the chart. I forgot we didn't have like an S and a Z, which means.
All right.
And we have so many pharyngealized consonants. We've got to decide what's going to happen.
We actually only have 3. We have 3 pharyngalized consonants, 1 pharyngeal consonant, and then that R is really just a sequence of h and r.
Yeah, but it's not the, sorry, I didn't mean to say we had so many. It's that the alveolar series is like half pharyngalized.
So don't fret, but this is what I think we should do. So we're going to make this palatalization decision. This will be the poll. And I think that we can make it and do something. It might turn out that there's not a huge result, as in a huge number of things affected, but something will be affected. After that, next week, what we are going to do is we're going to move on to grammar, and we are going to make some decisions right at the beginning. And because, like, we talked about, SVO and things like that, but if we do something like use a serial verb construction to turn these serial verbs into particles.
Mm-hmm.
These particles then can have a shape which trigger a particular type of mutation.
Okay.
And so then it'd be the type of thing where it's like you're seeing this mutation every single sentence.
Right.
And so we can look at 3 different mutations. We can look at palatalization, nasalization, and intervocalic lenition, see how they affect all the consonants, and figure out, well, do we like these things and how often do we want them to show up? And let's create the grammar so that the ones that we like show up often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I would be curious. Do you want to? I'm going to scroll down David's typing.
Yeah.
And Tabby says that there are sources anyway, at least one source that says the unusual segments which occur in the Northwest Caucasian languages, surely among the most bizarre are the palatalized and pharyngealized uvulars.
Yeah, see, like that's not.
But does that mean that it's a uvular that can be either palatalized or pharyngalized,
Yep.
or is it a uvular that is both palatalized and pharyngalized?
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Okay.
It's not the same thing.
Justified.
All right. Good. All right.
Okay. Okay. Do we want to start going through ideas of what we might be voting on for our patrons?
What?
Do we? Because we need to come up with the options for the patrons. Did we want to start coming up with those options now, or did you want to go on to something else right now?
Oh, it was going to be whether it happened just after oi and I, if it happened after that and before diphthongs like aya,
Mm-hmm.
or if it happened before, after oi and I, before the a diphthongs and before the vowel a.
Okay.
So that was it. As for what they change into, though, so let's just do one where it's fairly uncontroversial, I think. Okay, so then we'll just put that there for the moment. And now, okay, so we'll just ask you, and then I'm just putting a C there, whether it's a ch or a ch, doesn't really matter. Do you like both of those things happening or just the alveolars?
You asking me or the
I'm asking you.
audience?
I'm asking you.
Hmm. I could get on board with both happening.
Okay, now the question is,
Could get some interesting little.
do you want to go this far? Might versus might. And by the way, these are both, we're not losing the aspiration there. So where we actually make this decision.
Ooh, no.
No?
Might.
Might versus might. Might versus might.
If it weren't an aspirated C, I feel like I could be more convinced, but like as it is with that aspiration, it sounds like you're saying the same thing.
Okay, so then they
Might.
should merge.
Might.
They should merge.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever they are, they're going to merge. Okay, so then the domain then is both alveolar and velar. So is this going too far? Mike, 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 Mike.
I feel like that would turn into a velar. Uvulars would velarize. They would pull it up, but like not
Mike.
far enough.
Mike? Well,
So we could get like the old Mike becomes the new Mike.
Mike, Mike, Mike. The only problem is we have this rule, uvular coloring.
Mm-hmm.
So these two essentially are at odds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like which one is happening first? Either it's lowering the vowel, so Mike becomes Mike, or Mike becomes Mike.
Well, since Jake is saying the same thing too.
Yeah.
It's like since we already have that uvular coloring rather, then we should probably
all right
do that.
So the domain is alveolar and velar.
Yeah.
Going to assume that this doesn't mibe. I mean, I don't even know what to write there that would make it. I don't know. Mibe.
My. I mean, isn't it essentially what they have in Russian as a?
That only happens before, not
after.
Not after.
So like, B would be B, with a little palatalization coloring.
Like Bielka is a word as a name that was used for a dog in my Russian class and videos that were made for the book. Well, don't worry, Jake. We'll get there. We'll get there. So yeah, I just don't feel like that's anything.
No.
And so then next is the next big thing.
Yeah.
Might. Oh God. Might. Look, God. Might to might.
I don't know. It sounds like you're differentializing the M.
I am because I'm just trying to make sure that the last one you hear it.
Okay. Okay.
My.
In other words, it's very hard to differentialize the palatal stop. Is that what I'm hearing?
It's hard to even hear it. Yeah.
My I can't even palatalize the coda.
Honestly, if you wanna say what's a likely sound change, my yeah, mibe, mibe.
Yeah, Ty, I was just reading some interesting sources on tonogenesis today, and it sounds like if we were going to do tone, this would be a prime source of tone, is having this pharyngealization spreading onto the vowel, giving it creaky voice, which can result in. Ooh. Oh my God, Silvertail, yes.
Let's do a. Let's do a B there. By tuck becomes by chuck. By talk. By talk. By tuck. By chuck. By talk. By chalk.
These sounds all worked really well in isolation.
By talk. By chalk.
My God. I'm now like, oh God, we got to kill all the pharyngealization. Bring back the vowel coloring. We're going to kill it all.
Talk. Talk.
Oh. By tuck. By dock. I can't even do dock.
By talk.
Dock.
Talk.
Dock.
Talk.
Dock.
Yeah.
Dock. Okay. I don't mean to get your hopes up or anything, Jake. It's just like, that's totally what I'm hearing in some of this. So I don't mean to be playing with your tonal heart. That's all I'm saying. I'm not hearing the pharyngealized differences on the palatal series. So might.
That's the reason I did this one, because that's a sequence that we're trying to produce, right? Where the first one presumably will become by chalk. And so the question is, does it then make sense for by talk to become by chalk? Like, is there enough there, or does the pharyngealization repel it? So just focus on that one. Ignore this one.
I know, but I'm struggling with the other one too, because I'm just struggling with the pharyngeals in general. They sounded very doggy, and they still do. I just am struggling with what to do with them in environments. Okay, say the two again, please.
By tuck becomes by chuck. By talk could become by chalk.
I feel like the pharyngealization repels it, but I may be. I may just be like, wow, everything's just pharyngealized. I don't know. I don't know.
Kind of have to.
What do you think? Like, I don't have to make all the decisions. I hope you make decisions.
If we do it, the pharyngeals will be more entrenched, I think, and the effect will be more pervasive.
So we should do it. Is that what you're saying? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Either that or just destroy the pharyngeals.
I know, like I'm trying so hard because I know, and people were really excited that we had all of these, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, just kill them. I can't. If this were my personal conlang, I would probably end up killing them, which means I'd probably end up bringing back that pharyngeal
And
vowel coloring thing to kill the pharyngeals and have whatever was there just left on the vowels.
um, but like this is your. I mean, your name is first. That could be up on the agenda just to get rid of the pharyngeals. And so now the next question is. Then
Oh, I really thought the next question was the assumption is the D is going to pattern the same way the T does.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And the G is going to pattern the way the K does.
Right. Which.
Oh, and then also. Mife, 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 mife. Can we mishear that as mife? Or mife, mife.
I mean, with a p. I mean, the question. Okay, my. Because if you're doing the voice, like I think you hear the my. But like the f, I mean, technically, I think you could mishear it for anything.
Yeah. You want to do the voice one?
My,
my, my, my, my, my.
I don't feel like anything really happens to them. I think it's like the B.
Got it. All right. My. 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 My.
If anything, wouldn't the well, I guess if pharyngeals aren't doing anything to vowels, then no. I was gonna say uvular coloring could apply, but no. Okay, do those pair? Do that pair for me?
My. My.
No. But then we would definitely need the uvulars. No, because the uvulars are gonna color it.
Yeah. Yeah. My.
But where do we get those velars popping up?
Next to the.
Okay, so that's the only place they're going to be. They would not be coda consonants.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. I guess it was just weird to my brain to think that the pharyngeal is the one that pops over the uvular column to become palatal while the uvulars bring the vowel down. But at the same time, I guess stuff like that happens, so. But like I can hear it, like I can hear the mic.
Yeah.
And so like I'm okay with that.
And then I have a recommendation for these two.
Yeah, because my, yeah, my.
And so the idea is that with these, where you would have a sequence like, my lock, it would essentially become my yak.
Excuse me.
And the same thing with R.
So like my rock would become Maroc.
Oh, my rock would become my yak.
Oh, okay.
They would both come the same thing. What do you think?
I definitely like the L.
Okay, so for my rock, my rock, my rock, my rock, my ear, my
I mean, I can definitely see that R disappearing as a coda. I guess the hard part is like separating it out whenever it could be the onset of the next thing. Because like Meyer, and like, I mean, we have so many R-less dialects of English, right, where that R disappears in that kind of situation, so it makes sense.
My rock. Yeah, I guess.
But like, it seems like if those two units, unless, well, again, like as the coda, it makes perfect sense to me that it would disappear. But if it's the onset of the next unit, Maroc seems more likely where the I disappears than Mayak.
So here's the thing: if we want to lean in,
Myra.
if we want to lean into the mutation, we delete it. If we want to be, I think, more, if we want to be closer to how I think we're pronouncing it, when we leave the R.
Okay. And this would only be in certain units, right? Like not all of them that are going to combine phonetic units together. Like it's not like, oh, the next word in the sentence starts with an R, therefore it's going to disappear. It's more like it's a prepositional phrase, or it's a compound, or it's something that works together at a more basic level. In that case, I'm cool with killing it.
All right. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. So there'll be 9 consonants that are affected, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, presumably 15 that are not. So that's not too bad. All right.
The W would be killed, right?
My walk, it wouldn't show up as stuff. It'd be va.
Okay, that's fine.
My va.
And then that would be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's after 4.
Yeah.
Look at that.
We did it.
Woohoo! Okay, so we have what we need for the poll. We survived today, and next week, hopefully, we're going to start, like we said, on grammar. And that doesn't mean we're done with sound changes, but that does mean we're going to kind of move forward and see where the problem areas are. Because I feel like at this point we've hit like a good jumping off, and when we hit those problem areas, that's when we need to go back and tweak the sound changes to fit a more dog style thing. It's yet again a language I will never be able to speak. So sad, but it's okay.
We can still get rid of those pharyngeals.
It's so hard because they sounded so much like that little thing in the throat that dogs do, that it's like, it's so, I don't know. Well,
that's also something we could revisit, adding epithetic vowel after it.
That's true. And so
run.
Kind of just adding that. I would say the aw or the schwa would be a kind of natural sort of just off. So okay, so maybe we'll revisit those codas and turn them into onsets, and that could be good. Okay, all that is to say.
Yep.
We should go. Thank you for being here. Patrons, remember that this Saturday is our patron stream. I will potentially be late again, but I will be there. David will be there at 1, so I'll be there when I get there. And thank you all. Stay grammar, and see you next time.
Bye, everybody.